The moon cast a gentle glow upon the earth, illuminating the Bodhi tree under which Buddha sat. His disciples gathered closely, their faces lit with curiosity and reverence. Yearning for his wisdom, Buddha opened his eyes, his gaze tender yet piercing, ready to share the truths he had uncovered. "My beloved disciples," he began, his voice carrying the weight of ages. "Suffering is the root of existence, yet it binds us all." He looked to each face, his words a soft balm. "Suffering arises not from the world but from within our desires." A bird sang briefly in the distance, its melody a counterpoint to his measured cadence. "When you cling to what changes, you create suffering. As the world is constant in its impermanence," he gestured to the forest surrounding them, "alive with the hum of nature. See the leaves, ever green today, yet destined to fall tomorrow. And so are all things, ever changing." His hand rested gently on the earth, a quiet affirmation of his words. "Desires are like rivers seeking the ocean. They are endless, for the thirst grows stronger with each drop." Buddha's calm expression deepened as he recalled the days before his enlightenment. "Before I sat beneath this tree, I sought truth among scholars and ascetics, pursuing extremes without finding peace." His voice carried a somber echo of his journey. "Starvation did not free me, indulgence did not liberate me. Balance became my beacon to insight." The disciples murmured softly, their breaths synchronizing with the rhythm of his words. Buddha turned his attention to a young monk who appeared deep in thought. "Tell me, my child, why do you seek enlightenment?" The young monk hesitated before replying. "To escape suffering, Master, and to find peace." Buddha smiled, his expression radiating understanding and compassion. "To escape suffering is to misunderstand its nature. For suffering is not an enemy but a teacher." His voice grew gentler, emphasizing his point. "When you resist suffering, it persists. But when you embrace it, the lesson within unfolds like a lotus." A light breeze stirred the leaves, as though nature itself affirmed his teachings. He rose from his seat, his movements fluid and deliberate, and began to walk amongst his disciples. "Consider this: a man carrying a heavy burden believes he must rid himself of it to find ease." The disciples leaned in closer, their attention fixed on his every word. "But what if the burden itself holds the key to understanding why he suffers?" Buddha paused beside an elderly monk whose eyes gleamed with quiet wisdom. The disciples vowed to approach their routines with care, patience, and mindfulness. In the simplicity of daily life, profound truths quietly resided. Buddha nodded, his approval a silent encouragement. "Indeed, the ocean of our being holds all tides, all waves, yet is neither diminished nor defined by them." His gaze returned to the young monk who had spoken earlier. "The secret, my child, is not to escape suffering but to understand it, for it reveals the path." He walked to the base of the Bodhi tree and placed his hand upon its trunk, his touch reverent. "This tree bore witness to my awakening, yet it did nothing but be what it is, steadfast and rooted." His voice carried the weight of his realization. In its stillness, it taught me that seeking outwardly is futile when the answers rest within. Buddha sat once more, his posture as steady as the tree itself. His eyes closed briefly in thought. "I remember the day Sujata offered me porridge, her kindness breaking the chains of my self-inflicted hardship." His expression softened, as though recalling a cherished memory. "Her compassion reminded me that nourishment is not indulgence but a necessity for the journey." He opened his eyes and addressed his disciples, his tone both firm and gentle. "Compassion is the thread that connects us all, both to others and to ourselves. It is the key to awakening." A disciple raised his hand, seeking permission to speak. Buddha nodded, inviting the question, "Master, how do we cultivate compassion in the face of our own struggles?" Buddha's response was immediate and clear. Begin with yourself, for you cannot pour from an empty vessel. Love yourself as you would another. His words struck a chord, resonating deeply within the hearts of his disciples. To deny yourself compassion is to deny the interconnectedness of all beings. For we are not separate but one. The atmosphere grew still, as if the world itself hung on his every word. The awakening, Buddha continued, is not the attainment of something new but the recognition of what has always been. A disciple furrowed his brow, his mind wrestling with the profundity of the statement. His disciples bowed with gratitude, vowing to approach life's patterns with intention and grace. The wisdom of the loom had deepened their understanding of routine's transformative power. His hand gestured to a small stream nearby, its surface shimmering under the moonlight. Observe the water. When it is still, it mirrors the world perfectly, undistorted by ripples. A single flame flickered in the oil lamp, casting gentle shadows on the walls. Buddha lifted the lamp, his movements deliberate and steady. Tonight, Buddha began. We learn from the flamekeeper's devoted routine. The disciples leaned closer, their attention fixed on the enlightened one's words. He concluded with a final thought, his voice imbued with a quiet certainty. Remember, my beloved disciples, the journey to awakening is not a path of becoming but a journey of remembering. His voice carried the cadence of wisdom, resonating in the hearts of his disciples. Your inner flame, the flame of consciousness, requires the same devotion and care, Buddha continued thoughtfully. The grove became a sanctuary of understanding, its every shadow softened by the light of his wisdom. And in the stillness of their minds, the disciples began to see, truly see, that they were already home. The flame danced gently, unaffected by the calm breeze, its glow steady and warm. The keeper's routine reflects consistency, mindfulness, and resilience, Buddha said. Buddha stood before them, his presence calm and steady, like the flow of the river itself. My dear disciples, Buddha began, his voice gentle yet unwavering. Life is like this river, ever flowing, neither rushed nor stagnant. He gestured towards the water, his fingers tracing the currents in the air. The middle way is like the river, a balance that nurtures harmony and wisdom. He sat down near the bank, his robe brushing lightly against the grass, his posture as rooted as the earth. I once believed that extremes held the key to awakening, but they led only to suffering and misunderstanding. His voice carried the echo of his own experiences. Starvation taught me nothing but pain, while indulgence chained me to fleeting pleasures. Buddha turned to his disciples, his gaze meeting theirs with unwavering focus. My journey brought me here, to the realization that balance is the true path to freedom. He pointed to the river again, its gentle current a living metaphor. See how it flows, not too fast, nor too slow, moving steadily towards the ocean. A disciple raised his hand, seeking permission to speak. Buddha nodded, his expression inviting curiosity and dialogue. Master, how do we find balance amidst life's many distractions? The disciple's voice carried the weight of sincere inquiry. Buddha responded, his tone thoughtful and deliberate. Balance begins within, through awareness and mindfulness of your thoughts, actions, and desires. The disciples leaned in, their attention riveted by his words. To find balance, observe yourself as you would the river. Be neither overcome by rapids nor caught in stillness. He paused, allowing his words to sink in like raindrops nourishing parched soil. Balance requires moderation, an understanding that excess leads to imbalance and deprivation leads to weakness. He gestured towards the nearby trees, their leaves dancing in the breeze. Consider the trees. They grow steadily, their roots deepening without haste, their branches stretching upward with measured strength. His words carried the weight of nature's wisdom. Life mirrors these trees, flourishing not in extremes but in gradual, sustained growth. Buddha rose and walked to the edge of the water. His steps deliberate yet light, his presence magnetic. When I first sat beneath the Bodhi tree, I thought enlightenment required sacrifice. Yet it was balance that opened the door. His voice softened, filled with clarity and compassion. Through nourishment, I found strength. Through moderation, I found freedom. The disciples absorbed his teachings, their minds reflecting like the still water before them. Buddha addressed them again, his tone firm yet kind. The middle way is not avoidance, nor is it indulgence. It is the practice of living in harmony with life's flow. A younger disciple furrowed his brow, his thoughts clearly wrestling with the depth of the teaching. Buddha noticed his expression and beckoned him forward. Tell me, young one, what troubles your mind? The disciple hesitated, then spoke earnestly. Master, how do I know when I have found the middle way? Buddha's smile was gentle yet illuminating. You will know when your spirit feels at ease, neither weighed down nor restless. He reached down and scooped water into his hands, letting it flow freely back into the river. Like this water, your path should flow naturally, without force, but with purpose and direction. His words resonated deeply, a testament to his own journey of discovery and balance. The middle way requires mindfulness, a steady awareness of your thoughts and actions. The disciples bowed slightly, their respect for his wisdom evident in their posture and silence. Buddha turned towards an elder disciple who had been quiet throughout the teaching. Elder, what have you learned from observing this river over the years? The elder's voice was calm and steady, much like the river itself. I have learned that the river shapes the land gently, with time, not through haste or force. Buddha nodded, his approval a silent affirmation of the elder's insight. Indeed, life shapes us as the river shapes the earth, through patience, balance, and gentle perseverance. He turned to the group, his voice carrying the wisdom of both his journey and their reflections. To live the middle way is to trust the rhythm of life, neither resisting nor clinging. He began to walk back towards the grove, his steps as fluid as the river's current, his disciples following closely. The river flows towards the ocean, and so must you, ever balanced, ever steady, ever harmonious. He turned back to the disciples, his gaze encompassing the group, each face a unique canvas of longing and learning. Remember this, Buddha said, his voice carrying the tone of both instruction and inspiration. The disciples sat in quiet meditation, their minds attuned to the wisdom shared, their hearts alight with clarity. Buddha's presence remained with them, not just in form but in the teachings he had imparted. And so, the lesson of the river became their own, a pathway to balance and harmony that would guide their journey home. Another day, another teaching. As Buddha gathered his disciples beneath the canopy of trees, the sun casting golden rays upon them, the morning air carried the scent of blossoms, and the birds sang softly, their melodies blending into nature's harmony. Buddha's presence exuded serenity, his movements deliberate as he prepared to share the promised secret. My beloved disciples, he began, his voice steady as the earth. Today I reveal to you the secret you have long sought. The disciples listened with bated breath, their hearts eager for the wisdom he had guarded so patiently. The secret is simple yet profound, Buddha continued, and it is this: you are already home. His gaze swept over them, his eyes holding both tenderness and depth, ready to guide them to understanding. Many of you have journeyed far, believing enlightenment lies somewhere beyond your grasp, but this belief blinds you to the truth. He paused, letting the weight of his words settle gently among them. Enlightenment is not a destination, for you carry it within you. As a seed ready to bloom, Buddha turned to Ananda, his faithful companion, and invited him to step forward. Ananda, tell me, Where do you think enlightenment resides? Ananda hesitated, his voice uncertain yet sincere. Master, I believe it resides within your teachings, within the wisdom you have shared with us. Buddha's smile held warmth and understanding, his expression a reflection of the compassion that flowed through him. Yes, Ananda, and yet enlightenment is not exclusive to my teachings. It resides equally within you and every being. His voice softened, his words carrying the weight of timeless truth. It is the stillness within, the quiet knowing that you and the universe are not separate, but one. The disciples exchanged glances, their hearts wrestling with the magnitude of his revelation. Buddha addressed them again, his tone both firm and gentle. Consider the blind men who touched different parts of an elephant, each describing only fragments of the whole. His parable illustrated the limitations of perception. So often, we seek fragments of truth, looking outward, unaware that the entirety already exists within us. He placed his hand upon the trunk of a nearby tree, its texture rough yet grounding. This tree is rooted, steadfast, drawing nourishment not by searching but by being, simply being as it is. His words carried a quiet strength, a clarity born of his own awakening. Like this tree, you must root yourself in stillness to understand that you are already whole. A disciple furrowed his brow, his thoughts visibly wrestling with the teaching. Buddha noticed and beckoned him forward. What troubles you, my child? The disciple hesitated before speaking earnestly. Master, how can I recognize the stillness within when my mind is clouded by distractions and desires? Buddha's response was immediate, his tone both patient and illuminating. Stillness is revealed through mindfulness, the practice of observing your thoughts without attachment. Like leaves carried by the wind, he gestured to the stream nearby, its surface shimmering under the light. When water is still, it mirrors the world perfectly, undistorted by ripples. So it is with your mind. The disciple nodded, his expression softening as the teaching began to resonate within him. Buddha turned to address the group, his voice imbued with quiet conviction. Meditation is the tool that polishes the mirror of your soul, uncovering the light that has always been there. His words carried the depth of his own experience, a truth validated by his own awakening. He sat upon the earth, his posture steady and deliberate, as if anchoring himself to the core of the teaching. I recall the day Sujata offered me nourishment, her kindness dissolving the chains of my self-inflicted suffering. Buddha's voice grew softer, filled with the warmth of remembrance. Her compassion reminded me that enlightenment is not found through deprivation but through embracing life's fullness. He gestured towards the disciples, his gaze meeting theirs with unwavering focus. Compassion is the thread that connects us all, both to others and to ourselves. It is the key to remembering. A disciple raised his hand, seeking permission to speak. Buddha nodded, encouraging the question. Master, how do we cultivate compassion when faced with suffering and separation? Buddha's words came gently yet powerfully. Begin with yourself, for you cannot offer compassion to others if you deny it to your own being. His teaching struck a chord, resonating deeply within their hearts. To love yourself is not selfishness but the acknowledgement of your interconnectedness with all life. The atmosphere grew still, as if the world itself listened to his every word. Buddha continued, the secret is not to seek enlightenment but to recognize it, for you have always carried it within you. Another disciple spoke, her voice trembling slightly. Master, how do we trust that we are already home? Buddha's smile returned, gentle yet illuminating. Trust arises through practice, through the act of being present, of anchoring yourself in the now. His voice held the wisdom of his journey, a certainty born of experience. When you stop running towards or away from life, you awaken to the truth that you are already complete. He gestured towards the horizon, where the sun cast its final rays upon the earth. bathing it in golden light. The sun does not chase the dawn. It simply shines, illuminating all that it touches without grasping or clinging. His words painted a vivid metaphor, one that resonated deeply within their souls. So, too, must you illuminate your being, recognizing that there is nothing to chase, nothing to escape. The disciples bowed deeply, their hearts filled with gratitude and clarity, their minds reflecting the wisdom he had shared. Buddha rose from his seat, his movements fluid and deliberate, and began to walk amongst them. Remember, my beloved disciples, enlightenment is not a journey outward but a journey inward, one of remembering, not seeking. The evening deepened, the stars emerging one by one, their light a quiet witness to the teachings imparted. Buddha's words lingered in the air, a guiding light for those who sought the truth. And in the stillness of their minds, the disciples began to understand, truly understand, that they were already home. Remember this, Buddha said, his voice carrying the tone of both instruction and inspiration. Awakening is not given or taken. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.